Hey folks, it's Amy from Colorado Mountain Living, and for this video I thought it'd be kind of fun to let you be the judge and decide against or for what some people have said, that maybe we're not tough enough to live in the Colorado mountains. We've had quite a few comments on some of our videos that we're tenderfoots, or we're not really sure if we're gonna be able to hang with the weather, or this and that. Just a lot of different things people have said about us not suitable for Colorado. Maybe we don't belong here. So I wanted to kind of give you some background about Bryan and I, maybe some interesting facts you didn't know, but just a little bit of a testament to our character, and then you can be the judge and decide if you think we're tough enough for Colorado. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of recap some of the stuff that maybe I've mentioned before. I think there's a few things that go into being tough. I mean, obviously physical strength is a huge one, but also there's a mental aspect. There's that mentality of mental toughness and character. And I'm going to go into detail on that. So hopefully you enjoy this video and you find out some cool things about us that maybe you didn't know before. So I think one of the qualities that you can talk about in being tough is having strength. To be tough, you got to be strong. And that's definitely something that I train for every day, working with weights. But a lot of the jobs up on a homestead, you've got to use physical strength for. And I think for a man that comes relatively easy, you have a lot of muscle mass, you're used to doing a lot of physical activities. But for a woman, you have to really work at building that muscle mass to do some of those jobs, like chopping wood or raking rocks or digging in trenches. Anytime you're trying to do stuff, I mean, even lifting up a beehive or carrying water, it takes a lot of strength out of you. So it takes a lot of daily practice to keep up that strength. And that's definitely something that I enjoy and something that I work towards every day to stay strong all around, you know, doing back workouts, doing arm workouts, leg workouts, core, you name it. And it's definitely something I make a regular practice of. And I'll also mention that one of the key components of being physically fit is physical strength. So you want to work on your cardio, you want to work on your weightlifting, and you want to work on your flexibility. Those are the three things that make you well-rounded as far as physical fitness goes. So a lot of times, especially for women, they think all they need to do is go on the treadmill or the elliptical and they don't need to lift weights. But unfortunately, we all lose muscle mass as we age unless we're actively building it. And just eating hamburgers is not enough to keep that muscle mass on you. So you definitely have to work not with lightweight, you want to work with heavier weights. So you can warm up with a lighter weight, but I think especially for women, you want to go and try to lift as heavy as you possibly can. And they say that rule of thumb is 8 to 10 reps until you get too tired to lift anymore. So you want to really lift heavy. And don't worry, you're not going to get bulky. You just are going to get strong. Another quality that comes to mind when I think about developing toughness is the mental aspect, especially what it takes to be an endurance athlete. Now, Bryan and I both enjoy these activities. He has a lot more of the endurance mentality than I do. He really enjoys the really long stuff. But we've done things that have taken days. You know, a lot of times races take hours, but sometimes they take multiple days. And you're running through the night and you're, sleeping in a van. And that takes a particular mindset because you're committed for the long haul. So I think that really brings to mind that it's not just the race itself, but the training that goes into it. Sometimes the training takes 3 or 4 months to be ready for an event like this. And that takes a particular amount of dedication. So you have to be flexible. A lot of times in triathlons, you have to learn multiple sports and practice and make time for all of those. And you really can't take any shortcuts. You know, if you do not practice your cycling, then you're not going to do well in the cycling event. If you're not practicing your running, you're not going to do well in the running event, and so on. So there's definitely that mental toughness that it takes to know you've got to not only make it through the race and give it your all, but you're going to make it through the training so you're ready for the race. So that's kind of what comes to mind when I think about toughness, is that it's not just about being able to lift something really heavy or being really rugged to make it through something. You're in a triathlon, and especially at races that Bryan does, he pushes as hard as you possibly can for multiple hours. So this is Bryan in a half Ironman race, 70 miles total, and he actually placed in the top finish. So it just kind of shows you what it takes to really give something your all. And Bryan's been on the podium a lot more than I have, but after this year, and I think that advantage of the altitude training, I finally got a chance to step on the podium for myself, and it was a proud moment. But overall, to get there on the podium when you're racing against hundreds and hundreds of people, you've done something you can be proud of. Another quality of toughness, I think, has to do with how you're raised. It sort of instills your values and your expectations of what life is like. Both Bryan and I were born and raised in New England. I'm from Vermont. He's from Connecticut. And, we got used to those tough New England winters. So it's not like a surprise to us. We know what it takes to be able to last through the winter. And Bryan actually has experience as service in the Army. He was in the Army Reserves and actually was stationed in Iceland and had to sleep outside in a sleeping bag in 0-degree weather. So I think that's pretty tough, don't you? Another quality of toughness, I believe, is resilience. So you can train as much as you train, and then you can still have things like accidents. Bryan was actually hit by a car while riding his bike about 6 years ago, and that didn't stop him. Besides setbacks like that, he continued to pursue his interests and hobbies. I've had accidents myself in the gym. I've been hit in the head by equipment. But those are the kind of the knocks on the head that you get to make you want to quit. But that mindset, that resilience, it's your bounce back. It's like when you learn how to ski, like a picture of me here learning how to ski. I was so bad. That first time I went out, falling 10 times, you get up 11. So that's the kind of a mindset you need for that mental toughness. You got to be able to overcome your challenges. You got to be able to overcome your failures. So I think that's essential. So another quality of toughness, I think, is to push your limits. You can make a goal and achieve it, and then you can just sit back on your haunches, or you can keep pushing yourself to get better. That develops both a physical and mental toughness. 5 years ago, I could barely do one chin-up, and now I can do 10 without a problem. And that took a lot of practice. That took years of practice to do. And it was not giving up. It was constantly working at it and finding ways to push myself to be able to make those chin-ups happen. You can get stuck on something, but I found a way to get past that. So one of my training secrets, if anyone wants to improve their chin-ups, is to use weights to improve. So this is literally a 25-pound weight strapped to my waist, and I practice doing those. And after you do really, really heavy weights like that, boy, you can whip out 10 no problem when you don't have any weights on you. So finding creative ways to overcome your limits is a huge skill set to develop more toughness. So chin-ups have become one of my signature moves at the gym. Everyone calls me the chin-up girl or the pull-up girl, but it's just something I haven't really given up on, and I'm always trying to figure out ways to better myself by improving my game at the gym, by trying to push your limits. If you can't reach the chin-up bar, you jump up to get it. So one of my challenges I accomplished at the gym before was breaking records. You can set records for yourself, and breaking personal records, even if you're not racing against somebody else, that's another way to keep pushing yourself. Bryan finds ways to push himself all the time in his workouts. These are graphics for different rides that he did on his bike, different runs that he does. He's always keeping data in his apps to see what he's accomplishing every time he goes out. He keeps really detailed records and will always be on top of his improvements and figuring out ways to make his training better and make his performance better. So I think overall the best definition of toughness is not just the strength or the mental aspect, but it's that daily discipline. This is what people find so hard to do when I'm working with them as their health coach. It's how do I stay with something and not give up for forever. You know, how do I stay a healthy person? How do I stay a healthy eater? How do I stay doing exercises? You know, people like to do something for a couple weeks, go on a diet, and then give up. Or they'll start a little program. Oh, I'm going to start going to the gym in January, and then they lose interest. The real secret to toughness is the daily habit of discipline. It's always doing it, even when you don't feel like doing it. People say that I'm just not in the mood for the gym, or I just, you know, I don't have the motivation to get there. I don't have the motivation to get there half the time, you know. Through this entire home build, Bryan and I have not given up on our fitness. You know, we've compromised a lot of time, especially Bryan has compromised a lot of time being able to get to the gym, but during his lunch breaks at work, he still goes out and goes for a run. When he has an extra day in the week or a weekend, he'll do a long bike ride. So it's one of those things that I think you can't ever give up on, because once you start making excuses there, it just starts to affect the rest of your life. So it's kind of like when people are in the service, in the army, or whatever, you've got this discipline and you don't make any excuses, you just do it. And eventually that becomes part of your lifestyle, and it's just who you are. You know, you don't have to make excuses anymore about having to be in the mood to get to the gym or do your daily discipline. So if you want to know our secret to success, it lies in our training, and the daily discipline that is developed when you do something over and over and over again. It just becomes instilled in your brain. So, you know, you're doing a lot of different things as far as, I'm sure people could argue, well, if you spent less time at the gym, you could spend more time working on your house. And that's kind of a silly argument, because it's not that much time that we're spending, and it's more of an investment into our health. When you're taking care of yourself, you don't get sick. You have less stress. This is also a stress outlet for us. So, you know, you're not on medications for anxiety or depression. You're building a healthy body. None of us we don't take any medications. We haven't been sick in years. So this is the secret to success, if anyone wants to know it, is a daily discipline of health boosting activity. And, you know, both me and Bryan do. I don't have a lot of footage of Bryan in action, but all of his graphs here kind of show exactly the type of workout he does, which are a lot more intense than my workouts. So there's that. So what did you guys think? Are we tough? Are we tough enough for the Colorado mountains? Are we going to make it? So I just thought it'd be kind of fun, again, just to show you a little bit of what we've been through, some of the things that we do that build up our character, and I think deliver that sense of discipline that I was talking about. So hopefully when you think about living in Colorado mountains, it's more than just enduring cold weather. It's more than just physical labor. There's that mental attitude as well, and I think Bryan and I are well suited for what we've chosen to be our dream lifestyle. So thanks you guys for all your support. Going to give you another video soon, update on how the plumbing's going, update on our progress for the week. All right, take care. Have a great one. Bye-bye.